I had to cut a lot out of the first video. Auto shenanigans really used up a lot of time and threw me off the whole narrative flow. I lost track of how much time had passed, and so I had to cut out a lot of the kind of play-by-play that I was hoping to give all of you at the start of the game. So I just wanted to let you see that Red Raspberries is up. I did not move it. It was up over the night. It's the next day now. And let's just take a look at the board state. So score-wise, it's looking like Stubby and Fat Matt, the fascist and communist respectively, are tied at 5. I don't know what the points are called in this game. I forget. Dominance points, idea points. We'll call them idea points for now. They're tied at 5 idea points, which would make you think that they're tied in the game, but I would submit that Stubby has a little bit better of a position because his points are spread between 2 countries and there's a lot more room for growth between them. He's got a potential of 10 points here because each country can have its development level doubled, and he hasn't advanced them at all, whereas Fat Matt's Russia is pretty much maxed out. Furthermore, Stubby's hold on France might look somewhat tenuous. However, he has 2 military cards on there, which in order for people to make purchase, you know, they're going to probably have to get into his military. Though I guess they could attack each other and take over. So maybe it's not as strong as they might think, as he might think. And France is adjacent to a lot of, well, I guess to Cobweb. Cobweb's Great Britain, and Cobweb, she's actually not doing so bad now. She got North Africa. That's great for her. She loves having North Africa. She, as the imperialist player, as the imperial player, she loves to have these little one territories. You know, if she can, if a lot of her success, I think, is somewhat dependent on how quickly those come up out of the stack. If she can get a lot of those quickly and defend them, that might really help Cobweb. You know, I could babble on for a while about the strategies these people might employ, but I really want to start playing. At the end of turn 3, this is where things stand. Not a lot happened this turn, just kind of a lot of fiddling overall. Great Britain, or not Great Britain, the imperialists cemented their hold on North Africa for the time being, as did the fascists. United States, or not United States, the commercialists, the capitalists, they, Qteni opted to bump them up to level 5. Communists, also at level 5, they did some building up with their infrastructure, got some propaganda going. And the fundamentalists, the religious fundamentalists, went up to level 4. This is a special occasion. All 5 of our players have 5 points, and we are just about to begin turn 5. Let's take a look at how things look at this special occasion. Our fundamentalist Flips has just been, I think she got a little gun shy after getting beaten in foreign affairs, and is just working on Iran, trying to catch back up. She's still behind, however, because although she looks a lot like Russia right now, Iran, they're even the same color, she doesn't have all of this stuff. She just has some propaganda. And she doesn't have any cards on the table. There was a little bit of a tussle over South Africa here. The imperialists ended up winning out in Colombia, but there is still some communist influence. So, there was that. South Africa has an identity crisis. Does it want to be culturally capitalist or culturally communist? Economically, it wants to be imperialist, but there's still a lot of room for growth, and who knows which way it'll swing militarily. That's what's going on there. Not a lot going on with Stubby, just kind of building himself up, getting all these, building up a wall, like I imagine he has built around his heart. Cupid doll, blah 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 blah, blah, blah. still kind of looks like the communists. The capitalists and the communists are these kind of mirror images, and I didn't do that purposefully. That's just kind of how it ended up. So there's that, and our imperialist is actually looking pretty good right now. She, let's see, her scoring potential just with what she has is 6, 8, 10. She's kind of in the same boat as Stubby, so we'll see what happens. Right now, if I were to like look at the running, although they have 5 points, our imperialist, I would actually put her in the lead. Well, no. I'd put her and Stubby tied. She's got him on turn order, which I think is helpful because you get to see what other people do before you react. But he's got all these things, which are nice. All right, we're just starting the foreign phase in some turn. I stopped keeping track of turns. My son was approaching wakefulness, and I didn't want to talk while he was doing that, and so I didn't check in for a while, and so I didn't keep saying out loud what turn it was. So now I don't know what turn it is, but here's how things are looking. I don't think that much time's passed, maybe a turn and a half or two, but we just started the foreign phase. Iceland turned up. That's nice for Cobweb. She likes to see those yellow ones on the board. So Flips is at 6 now. She decided to get some technological supremacy. She's building up her long distance things. Now, that Matt is purposefully trying to keep his score down. He wants to move further back in the turn order. So that's kind of what he's up to. He's not seeing that he has a huge opportunity to grab anything, and so he thought he'd just kind of build up, sit back, and make his grabs later. We did see the first military action on the home country from the imperialists. I'm not sure why Cobweb did that. It would be really hard to get Russia away from the communist power, but she did it. Maybe because they're at war and she was mad at him. I don't know. Let's see. Fascists are building up. France is at a 3 now, which put Stubby at 6 points as well. He's currently the turn order leader. Here's our diplomacy chart. While we're over here, you can kind of see how people feel about each other. There's some pieces that were pieced, and some wariness that was warred. And let's see. Oh, Cupid doll has quite the set here. She's got all the little long-range things right in a row. Nothing to protect herself, but no one's really coming after her right now. However, she is vying for control of South Africa. I think she had a tough choice to make whether or not to build up her ability to send jets over or not to try and get that military piece. She decided to do so because, until she gets the military there, she won't be able to take South Africa for herself. After a 3-way tussle over Iceland between Flips, Cupid doll, and Cobweb, the now capitalist imperialist state has gone to Cupid doll and her capitalist powers. We are through with an assessment phase, and I thought it'd be a good time to talk about the diplomatic relations between our players. Okay, so if we take a look here, you can see our chart. Lots of squares in different columns. A lot of people at war right now. Let's look at who and why. So, we have a kind of an alliance going between Cupid doll and Stubby. She's actually the only person Stubby is at peace with. Stubby early on declared war on a lot of people, and none of those wars has returned to peace. The war that was happening between Fat Matt and Cobweb, however, did turn to a neutral position. The imperialist little foray into Russia was easily taken away. I think she was just being silly with that whole move. So let's take a look. Flips is you know, at peace with a lot of people. She, you know, she got bit again this turn. She tried to extend herself to Iceland, and she had a majority for a moment, but Cupid doll just had the cards on her, and so she took it. Just finished the development phase, and I thought it would be fun to run down what everyone's kind of thinking. Flips really wants to get herself a country, so she saved up all her cards, and she's really going to be gunning it in the foreign phase this turn. Fat Matt's plan to get further behind in the turn order is so far paying off. He is right here now, and Cobweb, for her part, just buffed up her Columbia. So she's going to be moving up into the 6th zone, leaving him last place unless he takes a country with his cards. He also has a chance at that. So we'll see what he decides to do. Stubby's just been kind of chugging along, building up his stuff. Is mainly what he's been doing. He's got a very defensive array going on. And for a while there was some buildup happening between Fat Matt, Stubby, and Cobweb. They kind of given up for the most part, it looks like. They're still moving up to try and be able to compete, but right now he's dominated in that extent. He only just now has started to get the more expansive cards. Hasn't hurt him thus far though. Yeah, so Cupid doll, she's working on Iceland. She got it moved up to 2, so she'll be unless a country is taken during the foreign phase, she'll be moving into 1st place at the end of this turn. Of course, that could very well change, and we already talked a little bit about Cobweb. Alright, since I lost my black marker, or misplaced it, I'm sure it's somewhere, you can see the scores that changed because they're in red. Let's take a look at the board. A lot happened during this foreign and conflict phase. So, one, Flips got Turkey uncontested. It looked like Turkey could have been contested because it was adjacent to a number of other countries. Let's see, like Russia could have had a hand in it. These two have kind of good relations right now, though. And Fat Matt had his eye on South Africa, which you can see he got quite a bit of influence in there on behalf of the communist ideology. Israel is totally up in the air between the capitalists and Flips. So Flips is kind of making something of a comeback because the capitalists are going to have a much harder time of getting rid of this military influence due to their capitalist disadvantages when it comes to military. Cupid doll is unable to declare war on Flips, and Flips isn't about to go to war with her at this time. So that's what happened there. Cobweb, this was kind of large. Cobweb took Iceland away from Cupid doll. So Cupid doll had a really rough turn. It was really hard on her. She replaced both of the capitalist economic influence in Iceland, which shifted Iceland to the independent column. So that's how things are looking. And what did Stubby do? Stubby did a couple of attacks on Great Britain. So we'll see what happens with that. This is where things stand currently. I'm starting to enjoy playing a lot more than I was at the start, which is good. I apologize if the play has been kind of choppy. I've not been able to play in with any sort of consistency or any large chunk of time this weekend, which I kind of thought I would be able to, but there keeps being lots of things going on that interrupt play, so I haven't had a full session. I think I may be able to soon here though, so maybe the next video will be a little more coherent. I'm enjoying how things are turning out. There's some kind of pseudo alliances that I wonder how they will hold over time. There were some times when it looked like people could have helped their sort of, don't want to say partner, but their kind of, their ally, I guess would be the best phrase, and they did not. So it's shaping up. I'm excited to see how it goes.